Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Milo Schroeder, joined by Eli Copes. We're live here in Stockton as we're just about to get set here as Lakeside JV takes on St. John's Tipton here. We'll be starting in just a minute. How you feeling, Eli?
Oh, pretty good.
As we'll get set here for the serve. We're pretty short-handed. It's just Eli and I today running everything up here. So we'll see how this goes. As we get set here. And this match is underway. And that is out of bounds. So a quick start here for the Knights as they now have 1 point, and Hannah Reiner is up to serve for the Knights. And the Knights go under the net, so point now for the Tigers. So both teams get out pretty fast as it's now 1-1.
Number 3, Ava Wiles to serve for the Blue Jays.
So that ball goes out of bounds, I believe. Nope, it did not. So, oh, maybe it did. So now the Knights Ella Wyman set to serve, and serve does not make it over the net there. So now it's 2-2. Blue Jays set to serve. And the Knights cannot return it, so Blue Jays will serve again. Knights return it. Blue Jays go for a kill, but Hannah Reiner bumps it up in the arm as it goes over the net there. And the Knights.
Little miscommunication there by Wyman and Keller. We'll bring our score to 42. Bumped over by Alicia McKay. And hit again over by number 25 for the Blue Jays.
And Knights can't return it there again, so another point for the Blue Jays. And the Knights go under the net, so another point for the Blue Jays. Brings the score to 7-2.
Number 15 still set to serve for the Blue Jays.
And a timeout by the Knights here after the quick start by the Blue Jays, as it's now 8-2. I'm Milo Schroeder, joined by Eli Copes. We'll be right back. Whoops.
We're back. 15 serve is returned by the Knights. And number 5 spikes it over for the Blue Jays.
Brings the score to 9-2. That ball came after us there. Knights attacked us there. So Knights return it there. So do the Blue Jays. And the Blue Jays can't return it, so there's another point a point there for the Knights. Stops that 8-0 run there by the Blue Jays. So now it's 10-3 as the Knights' Ariel Fisher gets set to serve. And that ball
will go out the back for the Knights. So it's Blue Jays ball again.
Knights cannot save it there, so that ball goes out of bounds on the Knights, so brings the score to 12-3. So not a great start for the Knights JV here.
25, Kelsey Onsat, serve, returned by the Knights. Hit over again by Onsat again.
And the kill by the Blue Jays, so Knights just can't get anything rolling here as they're now behind 10 points. That ball hit way up in the rafters, and Hannah Reinert bumps it over. And
Kyra Keller not quite able to get it over the net. Bring our score to 14-3.
And the Knights with the block there, so that was a point for the Knights there. This brings the score to 14-4. Alicia McKay up to serve. Good serve there. Just going back and forth now. And Knights return it there.
Nice bump over by Brooklyn Gray to get a point for the Knights.
So the Knights' Alicia McKay set to serve again. And the Blue Jays can't return it, so Knights get some points there as it's now 14-6.
Scarlett Ellens, number 6, cannot quite get it over the net for the Blue Jays. That'll make our score 14-7. Knights are kind of making a comeback here.
It's been 4 straight points for the Knights.
Scarlett Ellens again bumps it over. Nice hit over by Ariel Fisher there.
And
Alicia McKay can't quite get it back over for the Knights.
but the Knights get a point, so don't quite know what happened there, but the Knights got a point, and Alicia McKay serves it again. And that ball goes out of bounds. So Now it's a 5-point game after being a 10-point game just a little bit ago. That's how quickly volleyball can change.
Yeah, good run by the Knights to bring this game back to them.
Now it's been a 5-point run after the St. John's 8-point run, and we just jinxed it. So
yep.
There's the end of that run for the Knights.
Little miscommunication by Gray and McKay. Nice hit over by Keller.
Brooklyn Gray goes for the block and can't get it, and the Knights return it. Great job by the Knights JV. So there's another point. Brings the score back to 5 as Brooklyn Gray gets set to serve for the Knights. Good serve there. St. John's returns. Hannah Reinert bumps it over.
Ellens bumps it over for the Blue Jays. And that point will be awarded to the Blue Jays. Looked like Gray couldn't quite get the ball over as it touched the net before she could touch the ball. Bump over by Wyman. Hannah Reiner almost blocks that spike.
Bit of miscommunication again by the Knights. So the Blue Jays will get another point there. Brings the score to 17-10.
Quick bump over by McKay. And nice pancake by Ariel Fisher.
Knights get it back over the net, but it's out of bounds, so.
The Knights now trail by 8. Ariel Fisher can't quite get it over the net for the Knights. They now trail by 9. The Blue Jays kind of taking it away again.
That ball hit the ceiling there as the Knights could not return it there over the net, and the Knights take another timeout. So I'm Anna Schroeder, joined by Eli Copes. We'll be right back.
We're back here in Stockton. The Knights trailing by 10 to the St. John's Blue Jays. Number 30, Mara Kapner, serve cannot be returned by the Knights. That'll make it 21-10.
That ball did not make it back over the net, so another point brings St. John's up to 22. of
Hit
the
over, hit over by Hannah Reinert. Number 3, Ava Wiles, looks like she hit the net. That point will be awarded to the Knights.
So that brings the Knights' Kyra Keller up to serve. And that ball cannot make it over the net, so that brings the score to 23-11. Knights bump it over. So do the Blue Jays. Knights' Hannah Reiner almost blocks it there.
Reiner again taps it over. And number 3, Ava Wiles again, tries to spike it but does not get it over the net.
So that brings the score to 23-12. As the Knights' Hannah Reiner is set to serve. And the Knights' Ella Wyman kills it there after the Blue Jays try to block it, but can't quite block it there. So Hannah Reiner set to serve again. And the Tigers cannot return, the Blue Jays cannot return it. So now the Knights have 14.
Looks like the Blue Jays, well, I don't know what happened.
I believe a Knight went under the net. So point rewarded to the Blue Jays as it's now 24-14. So match point here. Knights cannot return it there, so now it is 25-14, and that ends the match there. So, or the set. So, I'm Tyler Schroeder, joined by Eli Copes, and I'd like to thank tonight's live stream sponsors: Wakanda Boats and Motors, Wakanda Water, Cunningham Fiber, The Brush Group, State Bank of Downs, Remus Tire Service, Remus Plumbing, Heating and Air, Miller Hardware, Miller Welding, Midway Co-op, and the Corner Drug and Gift. So we'll be right back for the start of the second set. And we're back here in Stockton, and we're We're getting set here for the second set, and Hannah Reiner is getting set to serve here. Good serve to start this set here. Hopefully the Knights get out fast like the Blue Jays did last set, and first point goes to the Blue Jays. Blue Jays go for a big kill there, and it's picked up by the Knights, but they can't return it over the net. So there's 2-0 now for the Blue Jays. And the Knights can't return it again, so now it's 3-0.
Nice hit over by Hannah Reiner.
Knights Hannah Reiner misses the ball there. So there's another point for the Blue Jays.
Not sure whether it was Fisher or Reiner that hit it there, but in the end the Knights will not be able to get it over, bringing our score to 5-0. Really hard spike there by Colby Eilert. That'll get another point for the
Blue Jays. And the Knights cannot return it there, so Knights not getting out to a fast start, and they take a timeout there. So after a 7-0 start for the Blue Jays, I'm Milo Schroeder, joined by Eli Copes. We'll be right back.
And we're back here in Stockton. Knights now trail by 8.
Knights have not got the start they wanted here in this second set, as they're down 8 already. And that ball is out of bounds, so point there for the Knights. So there's the point, first point of the set for the Knights, as the Knights Ella Wyman gets set to serve. And a good one at that. So a point there for the Blue Jays.
Nice hard serve there by Ava Wiles.
So the Knights get a point there. Brings the score to 9-2. And the Knights' Ariel Fisher gets set to serve for the Knights. Oops. A hard spike there by the Blue Jays, and that one is in bounds, so point there for the Blue Jays. As number 30 subs in for number 12 for the Blue Jays. Or 12 serves in for 30 for the Blue Jays.
Eilert to serve again for the Blue Jays. McKay hits it over for the Knights, and the Blue Jays cannot return it. The Knights now trail by 7.
Alicia McKay gets set for the serve for the Knights. And that ball does not make it over the net, so point there for the Knights. Makes it 10-4. As the Blue Jays sub 23 in for 15. And that ball blocked by the Knights there. So another point for him brings it to 10-5.
McKay serves again, and the Blue Jays cannot return it.
So that brings the score to 10-6.
McKay's serve does not get it over the net. That brings our score to 6-11.
Knights cannot get that ball back over the net, so an ace there for Blue Jays brings the score to 12-6. And the Knights can't bump it over, so now it's 13-6. Another good serve for the Blue Jays. Return for the Knights. Returned by the Knights.
The Blue Jays just barely able to get it back over.
And that ball is out of bounds. So there's a point for the Knights, and hopefully they can get a rally started here. Down 6.
Brooklyn Gray to serve. Just kind of nicks the top of the net. The Blue Jays will get it back over. McKay hitting over for the Knights. And the Blue Jays,
Blue Jays get a point.
that works.
And that ball is inbounds, so brings the score to 15-7. Another serve by the Blue Jays is over the net, and the Knights barely get it over there after just a bit of miscommunication.
Almost blocked the Blue Jays serve, or not serve, spike almost blocked by Reinert.
Another hard serve for the Blue Jays.
McKay not quite able to get that ball over. Diving for it even.
And that ball is short, so brings the score to 17-8 as the Knights' Kyra Keller gets set to serve. The ball barely gets over the net, so a point there for the Knights. And that ball is out of bounds, so point to the Knights again.
Keller to serve again. Knights still trailing by 7.
And a great kill by the Blue Jays. Gets them another point as that brings the score to 18-10. Bit of miscommunication there by the Knights, but they get it over.
Reiner hits it over. And
I believe the ball was on the wrong side of the net, so a point there for the Blue Jays. Knights cannot return it there. And another timeout by the Knights. So I'm Milo Schroeder, joined by Eli Copes. We'll be right back.
back here in Stockton, Knights trailing by 10. Blue Jays, number 3, Ava Wiles, hits it over, and the Knights, I think, cannot return it.
I believe they hit the net there, so that brings the score to 21-10. And the Knights cannot return it yet again, so that brings the score to 22-10 after the Blue Jays get a ace there.
Hit over by Reiner.
And the Knights cannot return it yet again, so that brings the score to 23-10. So that ball is out of bounds. That brings us to match point, as it is 24-10. Blue Jays set to serve here. And
hit over by number 15, Colby Eilert, and that will be the end of this one for the Knights. We will be right back for the varsity game.
You actually have to switch live streams, as we will have to pack up and leave to another gym. So we'll be right back in probably 10 minutes.